Salaam Radio, 106.2 FM.
Good evening, tech lovers. Welcome to the Tech Factor, your favourite dose of tech talk, where innovation meets conversation. I'm your host, Akil, freshly defragged from our previous show, joined by my co-hosts, Faisal and Joel. Gentlemen, how are you?
Very good. Thank you very much. Yeah, good to be here.
Awesome. You definitely needed defragging from the last one.
I definitely did. Can you believe Faisal is in the building?
I'm not on my own.
You're not on your own. This is true.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. I think Joel and I have just got... I think we're just like a little bit
In
frazzled.
shock.
Yeah, we are. How are you?
I'm good.
It's good to have you back.
Thank you. Good to
You
be
know,
back.
I know what happened. I really do. You lost your Cat 5 and you've been replugged back into the Matrix.
Yeah, with fibre.
With fibre. We're obviously missing one of our musketeers, but hopefully he'll be back next time round. Now, we've got an electrifying show tonight. First up, a hot topic dividing opinions worldwide. Should kids be banned from social media? A new law in Australia says yes, and we'll be unpacking it all. Later, we'll dive into some of the week's coolest tech stories, including robots delivering pizza and AI talking about aliens. So, let's get to it. All right then, so Australia has just passed a groundbreaking law banning kids under 15 from social media without parental approval. It's a bold move aimed at protecting young minds, but is it really the best solution? Let's break it down. You can contact the show on 01733602133 or text the show on 07411191062 or comment on the live stream, Facebook, YouTube, X or Twitch. Really, really important subject. I'm sure you got an opinion. Maybe it's your children, niece, nephew, whoever it may be, or just a general opinion about this. Do let us know. Is this the solution? So first off, some background. According to the ABC, the law was passed last week amid growing concerns over children's mental health and online safety. Did you know that over 40% of teens reported being bullied online? This law hopes to combat that. But let's not forget the flip side. Social media also connects kids with friends and even helps their education. The question is, are we throwing out the baby with the bathwater, Joel?
It's interesting that you should mention bullying, because before social media, before tech, before kids had phones and that kind of stuff, you were bullied at school, you'd go home to your safe spot. But now that bullying follows that person and you bring it home with them, And there is claims, that there is an impact. Social media is having an impact on the mental health growth of young people. Certainly boys between the age of 11 and 13 and girls between the age of 14 to 15 showed pronounced declines in life satisfaction when engaging with social media usage. Negative effects can include things like anxiety, depression, body image concerns, and that's even without someone directly targeting them. So yeah, it's a very, very interesting topic.
For sure. Faisal?
I think some adults should be banned from social media, let alone kids.
Wow.
No, seriously.
Straight in.
No. Straight in. I mean, it's like he never left us, right?
It was something that I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
Definitely. When we've covered the children, there's definitely adults out there that need to understand how to curate their own social media usage. Definitely.
I've been on Facebook, I think, since 2007.
So you and Mark together?
Pretty much,
yeah.
And
I was about to call him Gutterberg. Sorry about that.
I remember leaving the platform after 6 months of usage.
Yeah.
I thought, this is wasting so much of my time. What am I gaining from this? What could I be better spending my time on? And for that reason, I just quit. And then I joined back in 2009.
Okay.
And at that point, I joined for different reasons. So for me, it was about I got involved in local charities and community organizations. So I thought this is a good way of promoting local events and building up a network and getting to know people who want to attend these events and building connections. And my whole reasoning for that was to build my connections. And then I think around about similar sort of time, I joined LinkedIn. And now, I'm not sure if you're aware, with LinkedIn, it asks you to verify your ID for certain, verification to show that you are the real person. And I think it needs to go down that route. Then people will be a little bit more responsible than they currently are.
Is that based on the fact that there's still anonymity with Facebook?
Yeah, on all the platforms, the fact that you can create multiple accounts and then you can do whatever you like with those accounts. And this is the issue with kids, is that even adults have seen it, where I've heard of situations where they're being bullied from a fake account, and there were incidents that, I mean, famous ones, that there were Netflix series created on this stuff. So I think there are serious concerns in terms of, one is the type of content that people can put out there without thinking about it. In terms of for children, it's the addiction, the screen time, the amount of time they're spending. I've heard of incidents where children are online till 3 a.m. in the morning, and then by the time they get to school, they're completely exhausted.
Yeah, and then they're falling asleep at the desk. Look, sure.
So what responsibility do parents have at that point? Who is letting their under 16-year-old stay on social media till 3 o'clock?
It was bad parenting, period.
When
look, I'm going to tell you straight, Joel, now you've put me on the spot. Here's my opinion. My opinion is you should not be on social media if you're under 16 years old. And this is based on experience. So I'm going to give you the scenario that I'm basing this on. A lot of parents, when their child reaches 7 or 8 years old, they give them their first device, and usually it's a tablet.
Younger than that. I was listening to something where 2-year-olds are given devices.
There you go, 2 years old. There you go. Let's use that example. They're not given a phone. This is important to stress. The first device, more often than not, is a tablet.
Yeah.
Okay, you're like, this big tablet, they're not going to be able to break it easily because it's big and it's going to have these big screens, and we're just going to put games on it and so on. So they give this device to the child, and child starts to develop a relationship with this device because it's consistently getting the same message. So every time they press that button, they know it's going to be green. They're going to play the same game because the parents mostly will not continuously add new things to the library, okay? So they carry on. Another year goes by, and as the years go by, this kid is smart. So now he's clocked all the games. He's played all the apps. Or she's then said to the parent, now, maybe 2 years older, I need a new set of games. So the parent downloads 1 or 2 extra games. And by that time, the App Store says, do you want to save your password for free items? And the parent's like, you know what, I'm really busy. It's fine. The kid works out, I can just go onto the App Store. I'll press this button. I don't know what it means. It's downloading what I want. So now they're downloading their own apps, but the parent is completely disengaged with that device. At this point, there's no policing taking place. This is, child is, I'm busy, child is upset, angry, or we're going out to a restaurant, whatever, there's said device. I'm not looking at what they're playing because I can just carry on seeing colours. Now this kid is in primary school, around their friends who are now telling them what they're playing on their device. So the kid is going home searching for that app or whatever it may be, and then they're downloading it because it's still free, remember? And they're playing this game. It's fine. What's happened so far? They've gone from a really young age to a primary school age where they've built a relationship with something they trust. They charge it, it's always on, the colours are always accurate, the audio always works, and it connects to the internet. So now it's a friend. But it's more than a friend, it's a reliable way of communicating with something that's always giving you the same thing. What is that? Reassurance. Reassurance that you're going to get the same interaction. I base this on environments where people with autism are going through the same thing. It's the reassurance of that device that it gives you. Now, they're in primary school heading towards secondary school. Now they need something they didn't have before. They're saying to their parents, so-and-so's on TikTok. So-and-so's on this. So the parent's like, okay, well, yeah, I've seen that. It should be all right. I'll give it to me. I will. The parent says out loud, I'll give it to you, but I'm going to have to put controls on it, okay? But they don't. They just download the app and they give it to the kid. Kid has now got complete access to TikTok. Then they go to secondary school. But in secondary school, that's where things change. Now, we'll discuss the secondary school bit. I want your opinions on that. But can you guys relate to this bit?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of situations. I was listening to a radio show a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking.
Was it mine?
No.
And Joel's? We were here a couple of weeks ago, mate.
It was on the topic of giving devices to really young kids.
Yeah.
Like the activity they should be doing is playing with physical objects, whatever those objects are. So rather than playing with those, it's easier for a lot of parents just to say, okay, you know what, I'll give the device. I'm too busy. I've got things to do. I don't need the headache. So they'll give the device, and the child just learns how to do those things using the finger, and that's it. There's no actual physical activity going on. There's
Correct.
no interaction with physical objects. So just that is in itself is ruining the development of the child. And then later on with social media, I would say it's like giving a bag of cocaine to a child and saying, here you go.
Yep.
Because the addiction that you get from social media, the way it's designed, the platforms are designed.
Yes.
I mean, I'm guilty of that sometimes. You end up flicking through stuff on YouTube. You watch a video, another one pops up, which you thought, oh, that looks interesting. Or you're on Facebook, you click on something, and something else pops up that which you find interesting. And your feed is always interesting, isn't it?
It is because of the algorithm.
Because of the algorithm.
Joel, tell me. I just want to stick with this bit: the journey from toddler to almost the end of primary school. Your opinion, please.
Well, it is interesting, and clearly, what the Australian government have identified is that the parents cannot be trusted to be the policeman.
Yes.
To put restraints in, to put screen time restrictions on, Wi-Fi restrictions on, to prison devices for bad behaviour and those kind of things. So, at a government level, we're talking about a government that probably should have better things to do.
Yes.
But instead, they are having to intervene, and how they're intervening is quite interesting. They're going directly, not to the parents, they're going directly to the companies. So they're going to Meta, they're going to TikTok, they're going to the actual platform providers themselves and saying, it's your responsibility to make sure that these children, do not suffer from anxiety, depression, things like that, because we do not want them near your platform. So they're not targeting the parents so much; they are targeting those companies, and those companies can face up to a 50 million Australian dollar fine for not implementing the correct checks and balances before creating these new accounts.
It's brilliant. And now we're at this point. Okay, I said to you both about primary school, and then they go into the first 2-3 years of secondary school, and if they haven't had a device already, this is that age, 11 to 13, they're going to a parent and they're saying, all my best friends have got a phone. I need a phone because I won't be able to communicate with you. I need a phone because I need to be able to talk to my friends, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the parent says, well, I don't want you to be missing out, or can't you, have you been the odd one out, doesn't have the courage to stay in a disciplined mode. So they give them this phone, okay? And the principles of the tablet reapply here because no checks and balances are put in place. The child is just given the device and it says, or the parent will say, I'm giving this to you, you only allowed it 3 hours a day, and I'll put checks and balances on it. But the parents are busy. So none of that happens. So once again, you have a completely open device, but this is different now because it's a mobile phone. And why? Because it's far easier to do communication than it is through a tablet, unless you know what you're doing, right? You mostly can't make phones unless you use an iPad and make FaceTime, but generally you're making phone calls and so on from your mobile phone, etc.
Your tablet also has to be connected to Wi-Fi.
Correct, but your phone doesn't.
Your phone's constantly connected,
Correct. Now, the situation is, the child then starts watching, doing, learning completely different things that you wouldn't ordinarily want your child to see at that particular age. And some of that comes into the home. So the way they might react to you when you're saying put your device away, the way they might react to you when you're sharing a story about what's happening locally, or so on, so on, so on. This is learned behavior from social networks. They'll be using phrases you've not taught them, and nor have they been in an environment except they've seen it online. They'll be doing experiments at home. Some of these crazes that happen, through different social channels, they'll be doing them at home. You won't know what is happening. But then what happens is the child will either get bullied, do the bullying, or something will happen. And the parent will say, oh, I don't know where they got this from. Oh, I don't know where they learnt this from. Because the parent never invested the time in the first place with the device and the kid. Right? And then you have the other side of this, which is you have parents who are using software like Custodio and other ones are available out there, which shows you in detail location, who's texting my child, where is he making phone calls, where are they going, I've got a kill switch, what app are they using the most, how many hours are they on there, what terms are they searching. So then you can have a healthy conversation with your child. Okay, for example, the child might search up a term, which is a conversation that you might want to have with them a little bit later in their life, but they've decided to look into this sooner. So it could be to do with relationships with people of the opposite gender, and it was a conversation you wanted to have with them when they were going to be like 17, 18, but they've searched for it when they're 12. This is a great opportunity for you to have a conversation. But we don't want that. We don't want to take that responsibility on and be like, oh, what if he's doing this and that? Because one, we're too busy. Two, I'm trying not to generalize. We have lots of parents out there who are doing this properly, but a lot of people are not. They're not putting in the parental controls. They're not also spending money on decent software to manage what's going on. And Faisal said this in the very first show of Tech Factor, maybe second, I might be wrong. He said, you wouldn't allow a stranger into your house. Why would you give your kid a device to allow a stranger to talk to them? And that is the nub of this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, the way that I've introduced my child to it is I've had and made sure we've got those checks and balances in place. So even though, he uses TikTok, I have a parental account, he has a child account. It's restricted. His profile is not public. He can only see the people, from his contacts. And, I know who his contacts are because Google has a vast amount of family controls, just like Apple has family controls and things like that. And I think that for parents nowadays, ignorance just isn't an excuse. You can't be ignorant to it and just go, oh, here you go, yeah, download it, doesn't matter. Just create an account and away you go. I think as a parent, you do have a big responsibility to make sure that they are using their devices responsibly. Because there is, I don't want to dwell on the negative too much, because there is a lot of positive things. The cohesion that you have between social groups and friends, the amount of learning, real learning that can take place on platforms, like YouTube and things like that. There's some incredibly good and incredibly interesting content. Not to mention things now that, in schools, they even use iPad devices, instead of sort of like keyboard and mouse devices and things like that. They're also using as well sort of BBC Bite Size. My son's done a lot of BBC Bite Size online still. So the answer sort of lies, I think, somewhere in the middle, where it is bad, but there's a lot of good there. But I'm still amazed that the government still had to get involved. Targeting the actual platform owners rather than something to do with the parents. That's it.
I am aligned with you, my friend. Faisal.
Yeah, I think in terms of devices, I totally agree with Joel. We shouldn't stop the digital literacy that needs to take place, the development. I mean, I grew up with, if I hadn't grown up the way I did interacting with technology, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today. I wouldn't have found the thing that I really enjoy, that
floppy
inspires me, whatever it is, yeah. Any tech-related thing. But if I hadn't interacted with that technology at age 5, maybe I wouldn't have gone down this route. And the key thing, I think, is basically differentiation between actually giving them access to the device, but then allowing them to use a platform which has content which isn't suitable for them or which is highly addictive anyway, whether you're a child or an adult. I mean, I have to put screen time on my own phone. And how many times do I just think, I still need to use it, and I get around the screen time? And this is as an adult saying, just imagine as a child, if you give an open device to a child, what harm could they cause themselves?
It's true.
True. And I think as parents, we just need to become, it's hard being a parent. I did all those things, putting those restrictions on devices. My eldest son now is 18, and the device, eventually it says it's in adult mode now. So for example, on the iPhone, he was a child up until 17, then 18. He's got access to more things, but he's grown up knowing that this is how to be responsible on the device. And then you've got to kind of let them learn from their own mistakes. But it's better to learn from your mistakes once you've developed,
with good foundations.
Rather than going into it, spending hours and hours on social media platforms and not having those restrictions in place. And I remember years ago, I think it's probably about 3 or 4 years ago, where WhatsApp had an age restriction of 16 plus. And the reason for that isn't necessarily the content, but it's more about how kids interact with each other and the bullying that takes place. And I actually see this happening in the primary school that my son was at. And luckily, we hadn't given him a device. And from that point, we made a decision, both of us together, me and my wife, that we wouldn't give them access to social media unless it was supervised. And that social media, we're talking about WhatsApp here. And in those days, it was 16. And as a parent, I thought, what harm could it cause? What harm could WhatsApp cause? It's only messaging, but it's only when you see it happen, then you think, I understand why it was 16. I know they reduced it down to 13 at the beginning of this year, but my personal feeling from my experience as a parent is that it should be 16 plus on all social media platforms, unless they're specifically designed for a school environment. Even there, I remember seeing bullying happening on Microsoft Teams, but at least the teachers can see what's going on. It's like it being in a playground, isn't it? So you've got to give them something where they can interact with each other. I don't like the idea of completely banning technology or completely banning anything that we think, okay, yeah, it's too addictive, don't give it to them. Have an alternative that where they can interact with their friends, because they're on their device all day, and sometimes we think, you know what, they've been on it all day, they don't need devices anymore. But this is the world we live in. We're going to be fully connected, and we've got to either go against it or embrace it in a way which is good for us.
Yeah, and you're right. The embracing side is going to require work, conversations, tweaking, technology, education.
Yeah, and creating a law like Australia has, targeting the platforms,
which is the perfect way to do it.
Like they have done, yeah. I'd honestly like to see more education, more education plans from the government, instead of total bans for everyone under 16, because there are a lot of people out there that, benefit from that, that do know how to use it, that do have tech savvy parents, that are responsible for children. The people, the victims is a small group, but when they get victimized, it is absolutely terrible for those, for that group. So I just wanted to touch on sort of what the social platforms have actually got in place at the moment, and what this kind of, what the kind of things that will, checks and balances will be put in place. So at the moment, as you've already said, Faisal, quite a few of the platforms have already got in their terms and conditions, you have to be over X age to take part of our thing. Now, most of those currently rely on what's called self-declaration. So that's the user basically saying, yes, I was born in the 80s, in the 70s, when actually they were maybe, born in the noughties sort of thing. So the other way they're doing it is actually looking into government-issued IDs. So platforms like Instagram have started requiring users to upload documents and passports. You said that also LinkedIn are also doing that kind of thing as well. I'm not seeing many people under 16 interested in LinkedIn, but it is interesting to hear that other platforms...
No, that's the only one I've seen it on.
It's interesting that other platforms are sort of taking another step towards that kind of thing. Some people, platforms I've got listed here are TikTok and YouTube. They're actually turning to AI, and they are using sort of AI-driven age estimation, which is less intrusive. You're not having to upload any kind of official IDs or anything like that. But again, it's not entirely foolproof, and it could lead to misclarification of users as well. Parental consent systems. So again, some platforms are introducing where minors need to have verified parental approval and for permission for co-managing accounts. I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea. Other proposals are third-party verification systems. So platforms with increasingly, so this is obviously a middleman or a third party, are actually doing the verification of that person's age, or a combination of the other four that we've just talked about, to basically say, yeah, it's a child, but he's got access to only YouTube Kids. Instead of just like, here's the full app, and that kind of thing. So again, it's about, I think there is a large amount that these platforms could be doing more to help parents, to help the busy, to help the ignorant, to help the non-tech savvy people protect their children. And I think that, there is going to be some good coming from it, but I think they need to be careful about a total ban. Yeah,
I think that bit actually makes it easier. Sorry. That bit, giving the responsibility to the platform makes it easier for parents, in the way I remember with the iPhone setting those age limits. And I remember my youngest son saying to me, why can't I use this? I said, well, you can't access it on your phone. It's not accessible. You know. So that was my answer. You're not ready. It's not for your age. That's the reason you can't see it. Yeah. Or why can my older brother do this and I can't do it? Like I said, when you get to his age, you'll be able to do that as well.
So we've restricted, TikTok. We've restricted YouTube. We've restricted Xbox. We've restricted Roblox. These platforms do have a lot of parental restrictions, but you have to sit down. It took me time searching up how to do it. It took I'm quite a technical person, and even I still found it a struggle sometimes to put some of these checks and balances in place on these platforms. So I think that the whole process could be streamlined by the platforms, and I think that this is a good push in the right direction.
So what we're saying is that parents as well as the platforms need to make the investment.
They need to
if you're going to spend £1,000 on a device, you need to take some time out and set it up correctly.
Yeah, they need to step up. Yeah,
and also have conversations regularly with your children about why you're doing, how you're doing it, how it's going to affect them. It can't just be, here's a device and crack on with your life. No, I agree with you. Right, we're actually heading towards a break, but before we head into the break, here's something to think about. Should other countries follow Australia's lead, or is this a uniquely Australian issue? Do text us or call us on 01733 602133 or text the show on 07411 062. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be back in just a moment. But coming up next, we shift gears into something lighter. The coolest and funniest tech stories of the week. You really don't want to miss it. I've got some crackers that these two have absolutely no idea about, and I'm sure it's going to be vice versa. So stay tuned to 106.2 FM.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
Bite into something wonderfully tasty at Big Mouth, 349 Lincoln Road in Peterborough. Eating in, for takeaway or delivery, Big Mouth now have a delicious new menu full of all your favourites. Crispy fried chicken, juicy smashed burgers, finger-licking peri-peri chicken, handmade pizzas, quality doner meat and so much more. So visit the family-friendly Big Mouth restaurant for fantastically fresh food. Call 01733 201020 or visit getbigmouthonline.com.
Need a taxi that won't break the bank? Amar Cabs offers safe local rides at affordable prices, starting at £3.99. Get to Heathrow for £120 and London Stansted or London Luton for just £88. Private school and executive business class drop-offs are also available. Booking is easy. Go to www.amarcabs.com and download our app on Android or iOS or call 01733 555 888. Wherever you're headed, Amar Cabs is just a tap away with reliable, affordable rides starting at just £3.99.
Satisfy your cravings at Ibrahimi Buffet Restaurant. Enjoy a tantalizing variety of Chinese, Italian, Pakistani and comfort food favourites from starters to desserts. Kids under 5 dine for free, so bring the whole family to our location at 63 Sycamore Avenue. Open every day from 5 p.m. till 10:30 p.m. Call us on 01733 313131 or book online to reserve your table. Ibrahimi-restaurant.co.uk. Every bite is a delight at Ibrahimi Buffet Restaurant.
Where can you get high quality and low prices? Amar Food Store and Halal Meat in Lincoln Road Triangle is the place to go. Pay us a visit and take advantage of our special offers and great range of products on groceries, vegetables, fruits and halal meat. Also send money to Pakistan absolutely free. We have all top brands at special offers, offer free customer parking and provide a free local delivery service. Amar Food Store and Halal Meat, 613B Lincoln Road, Peterborough. Call us on 01733 687 374. High in quality, low in prices.
At Cake Inn, all our cakes and slices are freshly baked for that delicious taste. At Cake Inn, we bake 100% vegetarian and halal eggless fresh queen cakes. Delicious flavoured cakes for birthdays and weddings, ceremonies and all other occasions, with free customised messages, even balloons and candles too. Order for delivery or collection from Cake Inn, 489 Lincoln Road, PE1 2PE, and your cake could be ready within 2 hours. Find out more and order online at cakein.co.uk or call 01733 496 584.
Do you own a restaurant or takeaway? Cater Fair is an expert supplier of new and used commercial catering equipment. Visit caterfair.co.uk for quality equipment on sale at the lowest prices, or call us on 01733 310 115 or visit us at 11 Royce Road, Fengate, Peterborough.
Peterborough's community radio station, Salaam Radio, 106.2 FM.
Welcome back to the Tech Factor. If you just tuned in, you missed an in-depth discussion about kids and social media bans. But fear not, in the digital age, you can catch the highlights on our socials. Now, let's dive into the lighter side of tech. First up, picture this. You order pizza, but instead of a delivery person, a robot shows up at your door. This isn't sci-fi. It's happening right now, thanks to a startup in Silicon Valley. Faisal, would you trust a robot with your pepperoni pizza?
We were actually talking about having a robot around the house.
There you go.
Why not? What's wrong with that?
I didn't say anything wrong with that.
Yeah, why
There's
not?
a movie, isn't there, recently? What's it called?
There's a few, isn't there? There's Channel 4 had a series on called Humans.
Yeah, I can see him.
That gives you 101 reasons why you shouldn't have a robot.
Oh,
No, but he needs one.
They're just trying to frighten you off from these things.
No,
That's
so
what
you'd
it is.
have one, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so what would your robot be called?
I haven't thought that far ahead. It'd just be called robot. I won't be
Oh,
giving
come
it a
on,
name.
that's like my friend.
For me.
I said to my friend,
For me.
if you had a dog, what would you name it? He said dog.
Yeah.
Same thing, you've just done the same
call it
thing. I'd call him robot.
I'll call him or her the cook or whatever the responsibility is, isn't it? I'm not going to give him a name and make it all personal like it's my friend or something. Like I do
Wow,
with my
cold.
iPhone.
He's cold. Do you know why? This is where we find Faisal, deep in the dark, cold server room. So we're obviously at, and if you didn't know, sorry, we're at the cool tech stories of the week. And my two compadres are going to be sharing some amazing stories they've got lined up as well. So if you want to get involved, you can call on 01733 602 133. Or text the show on 07411 191062. Or perhaps you have your own cool tech story of the week. Drop it in the comments, Facebook, YouTube, X or Twitch. We'd love to hear from you. So, Joel.
I was going to say, your pizza delivering robot is going to kill the gig economy, isn't it?
Yeah, but listen, these things are coming. I was at Heathrow Airport. I've been at the airport quite a lot recently. And I saw an autonomous robot cleaner. It was doing everything.
Yeah, I've seen that Heathrow a while ago,
yeah.
a year ago.
There you go. That's already taking out jobs. And the best bit of that, they don't get tired.
A bit like robo-taxis as well, isn't
Exactly. But I was saying another thing I'm going to look at. I know why you said that. So I'll tell you another thing why that's quite interesting is because the person I went to go pick up from there had never seen an autonomous robo cleaner, right? And incidentally, I do have a RoboVac at home, as you know. Anyway, and she said to me, she went, "Oh, what's that?" Because it didn't have a human, it was just moving. I went, "Oh yeah, it does this." And she was flabbergasted. And now we know on air, at some point, Faisal's going to have some sort of NASA-controlled humanoid in his house called Robot.
Yeah, robot.
Brilliant. What have we got for me, Joe?
I can do another robot story, actually.
This is so cool.
Let's go down the robot path a bit.
I was just thinking, the robot thing, rather than the delivery coming to you, why don't you just send your robot out to go and get the stuff for you?
But what if your robot's got something else he needs to do at home?
No, this would be specifically for getting stuff, like shopping.
So now you've got two robots.
A cleaning robot, a cooking robot, getting my stuff robot.
Wow!
Go to work, robot.
Yeah, there we go. Fantastic.
But if you've got autonomous car, so you the next level Tesla auto drive, you just send your car.
Oh, you mean a human piloted vehicle, Joe?
Yeah, the opposite of one of those. You just send your car out, and the takeaway place just puts it on the front seat. And then your car drives back.
I can see that happening.
Already got one.
I can see.
This is why I love this
there.
show, because we always come out with next gen technology. This is really, really good.
Someone should be listening to these ideas.
Yes, so somebody should be. If you are listening, do let us know. Do us a post check on 07411 191062. Comment on the live stream, Facebook, YouTube, X, or Twitch. Yeah, do let us know. Oh, Joe, come on. This better be good.
It's a robot story.
Okay.
It's another robot story. But not only are they being used for all the things we've just talked about, but in America, they are also being used as prison sentries, prison guards, basically. So instead of a human guard doing a walk around the prison. In Cobbs County Sheriff's Office, they have now got a Sentry robot, and it is equipped with a full 360-degree camera, night vision, heat detectors, light, two-way audio, and capability to show the robots can monitor the perimeter of zones and assist in conducting head counts, enabling staff to maintain tighter control over inmate movements and facility security. So, keeping our prisons safe and also delivering us pizza. So, robots are being tried in all sorts of different ways than what they once were. Especially
the ones that are called robot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it's called. Maybe this one's called Guard.
Guard 1.
It's Guard 1! This is brilliant.
It's called the Deca Sentry robot, is what it's called.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, Faisal?
Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to go away from the robot stories. I've got one about iOS 18.2.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you got the AirPods Pro 2, but there's
you were supposed to get it for me and Joel.
All right, I'll give you mine.
On air. I've got. Well, hold on. What do you mean you give me yours? I want new ones.
I'm going to get the version 3 coming out.
Hand-me-downs, Joel. I guess the robot that he's got is going to be a hand-me-down as well.
It's the feature. I quite like this.
There's
a
hit me
hearing test feature to hit 9 countries. So this feature will basically allow you to do a hearing test on the AirPods. And it's launching in late.
Okay.
We should have used that story on our last show, which was all about health, fitness tracking and things like that.
Absolutely.
That is something else that, sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah, it is. It's basically
at-home hearing test.
Exactly, yeah. It's a 5-minute test, and it allows you to identify whether you've got hearing loss. Basically, I guess you're going to be listening to something through the AirPods.
Okay.
And
okay, well,
I've got different frequencies and so on.
It's going to be different tones, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so. I've never had a hearing test, but I guess it will be similar.
Yeah, it will be. I did read about that extensively. About Apple is now moving big time into the health game.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a NASA AI system. It recently picked up signals that might, Shamshad, it might be alien.
Wow.
Joel, I know you're into UFOs. Could this finally be our proof of extraterrestrial life?
we were watching the other day. We watched a program the other day which basically touched on sort of a sci-fi version of SETI, and in the 1970s, SETI had an anomalous signal, and to this day hasn't been proven or disproven to be potentially from outside of our solar system, sort of thing. So yeah, it could very well be.
Okay, I have to ask you this because I asked Faisal earlier. If you had an alien, what would you call it?
Alien.
You two are absolute winners. Do you know that? I've got robot
Paul.
And I've got alien.
Dave.
Wow.
Yeah, whatever he responds to. Do you think they'll be banned from social media, though? Aliens, if we do make contact
just
with them.
imagine, right? So we've got social media, we've got newer versions of what we currently got, we've got really unimaginable AI, and we've got aliens, and none of those are on our side.
I think if there might already be aliens here, we don't even know.
Have you seen? There's been a lot of chatter recently about flying orbs. Have you seen these? So Lakenheath Airport.
Oh yes.
Reports of flying orbs, as well as all the way across the sort of mid-United States as well, sort of thing. So there's also speculation about whether they're drones or whether they're from secret military tech, or whether they're from other planets or whatever. So interesting. Who knows? I'm
just going to put it on record. If I had a robot or an alien, its name would be Timothy. That's all I'm going to say. So I did see these orbs / drones, and there's a lot of speculation online about them. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And first of all, why is it doing it? What kind of information is it? Is it trying to capture, and so on. And Joel and Faisal has only just come back, so that's quite interesting. I don't know what I'm trying to suggest there. If anybody has seen Faisal in the last 9.5 years, you can text the show and let us know. Joel, what you got for me next?
So there is a neuroscientist from Melbourne's Monash University who believes that we could potentially be on the verge of living forever. How about that, eh?
Scary,
yeah.
What a thought.
So this
just
doctor,
imagine living with a kill forever.
Look how he's turned this on me.
How many shows would you do back to back on Salaam Radio?
Oh my God! I mean, today's 3 already.
I know.
Right? I don't know. It doesn't bear thinking about. He's thinking very quickly. Yeah. How many would I do back to back if I knew I was going to live forever? If I wasn't going to get tired, I'd just be on 24/7.
That's a problem to solve, then, isn't it?
So
Thanks.
This
Will you speak to your robot about this? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
This doctor's looking at brain preservation, and it could potentially allow humans to live for centuries or even achieve immortality. So he argues that technology to preserve brains is already in existence and it is relatively affordable. And the concept is based on the idea of preserving the brain's structured identity could allow the future then medical advancements to revive the individuals. So how is he doing it? He has got a method called dehydrate stabilized cryopreservation. And it basically involves injecting chemicals at the right moment to preserve the brain's structure and circularity. And once it's frozen, the brain can be preserved indefinitely. And the idea is then to maintain the brain, the neural connection, so future medical enhancements can then revive that individual. And he believes it's already being used in animal research and has been tested on humans post-mortem. But he says live forever, but what it means is you have your brain frozen, with no body, and no soul, I assume, at that point either. So interesting tech.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, everything's made out of energy, chemicals, atoms, and if you can preserve that somehow through electrical signals, then that thing will live, but like you say, it won't be you, will it?
No.
Your consciousness won't exist.
I mean, it immediately made me think of Futurama when they've got those heads in jars and just a head in a jar chatting away.
Forgot about that.
Where's Sham when you need him? Okay, what you got for me, Faisal? That's a good story, Joel, by the way.
I like that. But also, if you think about it, the amount of stuff that we put out there on social media, that's going to stick around. And that's us, basically, our lives, how we live our lives. So that is kind of preserving us forever anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, a digitized version of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And in future, the way will it get immersed into technology, whether it's, through augmented reality or whatever, and the amount of that content that's going to be preserved.
We covered that on this show earlier in the year.
We did, yeah.
What to do in your digital afterlife.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Look up
absolutely. Very good, Joel. Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
I forgot about that one.
Did you now? Okay. What else you got for us tonight?
The one I've got is OpenAI's new model. Well, it's been around for a while as preview, but that's coming up as a $200 subscription, mainly for businesses.
Okay.
And this is excellent at logical reasoning, solving mathematical problems. And according to OpenAI, this model solved 83% of the problems in an international mathematics exam. And the previous version only scored 13%. It just shows you how far it's developed. And I was looking at this earlier on myself as well, and it's much more advanced in terms of coding.
So was this for your robot?
No.
Okay, just checking.
This is for the robot to make another robot.
You see, look at that.
No.
See that, Joe? This is why he is where he is.
No, this will give advantage to technology companies. So rather than having to hire more coders, this thing can code for you more efficiently. That's an example.
Very good.
I think I could solve 100% of those maths problems, but they wouldn't necessarily be all correct.
The other thing is good at is analyzing photos. So whereas before it would just say this is a picture of whatever, this model actually brings more context into that. So
that's interesting. If you think about this, a Vigilon.
Right, yeah.
And do you remember when the cameras first came out and they were trying to figure out, humans, pets, and so on, animals and so on. And over a period of time, it was starting to improve. What Faisal's just said here now, that would be a use case in the security industry.
Yeah, but
advanced AI giving you 99.9% accuracy of what it's actually looking at.
Human behavior,
yeah, human behavior. Why am I mentioning this? Because then you've got another application, which is the law. Mm-hmm. You know how you have DNA and they go, this is probably blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Same thing now with this would be, if it gets itself to a specific standard where it can be used in a court of law, you'll see things like this, that Judge Dredd moment. Yeah, where some a police officer is investigating a case. OpenAI software, whoever it may be at that time, is being used on a CCTV camera. That is telling you exactly 6'1", X build, was walking like this, went over this fence. Images of the face, heat signatures. I mean, the lot.
And here he is again yesterday at this location.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. It's a little scary, I won't lie, but I mean, like, wow.
Yeah, other less scary applications are things like, let's say you've got small parts and they need to be, fitted into a machine or something.
Mm-hmm.
You could take a photograph and it will tell you where in that machine that part should go. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. Of course. Joel, what you got for me next?
I've got another moon update. I'm still fairly obsessed with the prospect of us going back to the moon. And with the... so again, this is for China. China's scientists are developing capabilities to build moon base using bricks made from the actual lunar soil itself. Video from the China Central Television shows animation of robots constructing lunar habitats called moon pot vessel. They are looking to launch a mission to the moon to verify the fact that they can make bricks from the lunar soil to simulate the tests that they've done here on Earth in the durability of space. They're looking at that because they're thinking that can save costs. Again, we've talked about on the show things like China are making advancements in extracting water from the lunar surface. We've talked about the fact that they can then use that water to make other rocket fuels and things like that. And now they're looking at actually construction materials from resources that are on the moon. And again, they are looking to start doing this kind of thing from 2028. And it would be a kind of like 3D printing technique to make bricks up there as well. So again, really, really interesting moon stuff.
Okay. When are you going to take me? That's the question.
I'll get you a space on the next SpaceX flight there.
Now we're talking.
SpaceX flight to the moon.
Yeah. It's called Muskie Travels.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's Mars, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you know what? I don't know if you know this. There's a Butlins on Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to be a redcoat on Mars?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll go now. You can take out BA with you, right? Okay, Faisal, what you got for me next?
The other one is continuing on the same theme. Microsoft Copilot.
Okay, yeah.
It can now browse the web with you using its vision module. What this means is, let's say, for example, you're looking for a holiday. Copilot will interact with you and you could interact back using your voice, saying, I'm looking for such and such holiday. And it will say, oh, look, this one looks good. And then you can interact back using your voice, say,
okay, that is cool.
Something along the lines of, no, I'm looking for something nearer to this place or something with a slightly bigger room. And as you're flicking through, it will suggest to you. So you're basically bouncing ideas off Copilot rather than...
That is good. Because the other thing as well is it's easier to then contextualize what you're trying to say or mean.
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then having that interaction again, look at what we're talking about here. We're talking about AI, we're talking about robots, we're talking about aliens. I mean, I just feel like Sham's going to appear from somewhere now.
Yeah, the thing I like about it is that the fact that you can give it context. You can say that, okay, I'm looking for whatever it is. And then as you're browsing, then it can suggest things based on whatever it is that you're looking for.
That would sound very helpful.
Yeah. Save time.
Absolutely. Joe?
So, have you ever been in sort of a VR headset, sort of gaming session or whatever, and then thought, wow, the thing I'm interacting with, I really wish that I could taste it?
No. Where is this going?
Someone thinks that is a good idea. So a team of biomedical engineers.
Okay, wow. Okay, so money's already gone into this.
And virtual reality experts have developed a lollipop-shaped interface that can simulate tests in virtual reality.
Yeah.
So the device uses the agar-agar gel, and it's infused with various chemical flavours and a small voltage to create a convincing taste sensation. So currently it offers 9 distinct flavours: salt, sugar, cherry, citric acid, green tea, passion fruit, grapefruit, durian and milk. The intensity of each flavour can be adjusted by varying the voltage. Device has practical applications in online medical, medicine and education. Future iterations aim to expand its capability, potentially integrating up to 100 flavours. It reminds me a little bit of like the the Air Up bottles. Went through went through a phase of being very popular, where they've got a scented ring, haven't they, of different fruits and things. And when you're drinking water, you're sniffing the ring of flavour and thinking, I'm actually drinking orange juice, but it's just water sort of thing. So it reminds me a bit of that. But virtual tasting lollipops.
Yeah, I don't know about you. Sometimes when I have a dream and I'm eating food, it doesn't taste very nice. This could be good for that, couldn't it?
Yeah.
So plug it in when you go to sleep. So whatever you're eating in your dreams, you can taste it. Why not? It's just a thought.
No, this is great. I'm just laughing because I thought that was wild, but you just made it wilder.
On to the next level.
I'm going to give you a use case straight away. It needs to be my dream.
I wouldn't mind sharing my VR headset, but I don't want to share VR lollipop with each other.
Yeah.
You'd need your own, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Can you stop trying to take his VR lollipop?
Yeah, I think that's I can't see the application of it. I don't know why
you just gave one on there.
Well, you're sharing a lollipop, but it's not really. I mean, what do you gain from that?
I don't know. You tell us. You're clearly doing this somewhere, aren't you?
Maybe if you're playing a fishing game and you can just taste the fish.
Yeah.
Taste the salty sea air.
Oh, sardine, mackerel. No. Or...
Yeah, I suppose if you're playing if you're doing something where you're in a certain environment and it helps you become more immersed in that, and taste is part of it.
I'm definitely keeping some of my thoughts in my head.
I think you should.
I definitely am. It's just the way he looked at me. Faisal, give me something. Give me something.
Well, you know what makes money, so...
Yeah, this is an app. It's called Twos. It's a to-do app that uses AI. So it's like the to-do list thing that you get in your phone. But this thing actually suggests for you certain things that you can do to action that.
Oh, I like this.
For example, if you write about a birthday, the app will then nudge you to add a reminder in your calendar or buy the person a gift or things like that. Or if you, for example, you write buy paper napkins, it will suggest links to you to Amazon and different websites.
I like this. What's it called again?
Twos.
Is it available now?
I've not looked on the App Store, but I guess so. I mean, this is like today's news. So
okay, do me a favor. While I'll switch over to Joe, can you check it out for me, please?
Yeah, this is literally today's news.
Good. Mm-hmm. I need something to prompt me to get a kebab, so I'm just trying to work this out. I do, Joe. Don't pick on me.
You need the opposite. You need something that says, "Not tonight, mate."
What?
That's it.
Wow. I'm going to unplug both of your robots.
Not for the fourth time.
Come on.
This week.
In the same day.
You've had it for breakfast already. Come on, Joe, give me something.
Yeah,
oh my
it's
God.
There. It is there.
Is there?
Yeah.
Is it paid for?
I'm
just asking. No. I just want to. How much does it cost?
It's one of those ways in-app.
Okay, so what's the most expensive in-app part of that?
I don't know. I'm downloading it.
Good lad. Let me know if you click on the app and then you go into the thing, it tells you everything in the app store.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, too late.
Anyway, God, what can I say?
Live radio.
Do me a favour. Yeah, exactly. Do me a favour, Faisal. Send me the link to that as well. Live on radio. If you're already using this app, do let us know. Come on the live stream, Facebook, YouTube, X, or Twitch. Joe.
Okay, so one of the last ones that I've got is, when you're having, it's quite unique, but when you're having your brain scanned and you have to shave your head and they stick on all the electrons and you've got lots of wires coming off your brain, and they perhaps do it for if you're suffering from sleep problems, or if you've got other neurological problems, you might have to have your brain waves analysed. New technology coming out which allows you to keep your hair, for one thing, and is actually like a spray-on electronic e-tattoo that goes on your head and is sprayed through your hair onto your scalp, which they can then use to pick up your brainwaves and perform EEGs and pick up your brainwaves and things like that.
Oh my God, that is seriously
So
cool.
it's using liquid ink. The application involves mapping electrode locations with a computer, and then an inkjet printer sprays them directly onto the scalp through your hair. In the tests that they've been performing, the e-tattoos have performed flawlessly over a 24-hour period, where your traditional shave your head, stick on the electrodes, they normally begin to fail after 6 hours. You know, maybe they fall off, maybe, you know, because if you get hot or sweat or cold or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So they're looking at then embedding wireless transmitters into the tattoos, and again, it could revolutionise brain-computer interfaces, as well as limiting the need for bulky headsets.
That is awesome, I must say. And can you believe it? We're at the end of the show. That's a wrap for tonight's show, folks. From controversial laws to pizza bots and alien signals, we've covered it all. We hope you found it interesting. Don't forget to join us in 2 weeks' time for more tech stories of the week. Joel won't be with us this time round, so wish you a happy Christmas, my friend. See you in the new year. Thanks for tuning into Tech Factor. Do take care of yourselves. And remember, always